All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, often completely unseen tension in the digital world. It's the stark contrast between the glamorous, shiny perception of social media fame and the incredibly harsh, demanding reality of the modern creator economy. Look, we all scroll, right? We all see the flawlessly choreographed dances, the perfect outfits, and those viral moments that seem to just happen overnight out of thin air. But behind those glowing ring lights is a rapidly evolving, high stakes industry that operates completely differently than it did even just a couple of years ago. So, we're going to break down exactly how this app morphed from a simple, fun platform for bite sized clips into a hyper sophisticated commerce engine. And more importantly, what that massive transformation is actually costing the creators who feel it every single day. To understand this, we've got to start with the glitter. $17.5 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is the estimated annual earnings of top-tier creators like Charlie D'Amelio. And honestly, when you hear a staggering number like that, the incredible financial allure of the platform becomes crystal clear. It's exactly why so many people look at content creation as the ultimate modern dream job. The potential to earn life-changing money, to lock down these massive blue-chip brand deals, and to achieve genuine global celebrity status is very real. But and this is a huge but, that reality only exists at the absolute very top of the pyramid. Because instantly we have to contrast that massive wealth with the grit. Take creator Melanie Murphy, for example. She described her own experience on the platform not as a dream, but as a, quote, complete burnout breakdown. And you know what? She is definitely not alone in that. Countless creators working day in and day out behind their screens describe this environment not as some glamorous red carpet, but as a fast track to severe mental exhaustion. For the vast majority of creators, the daily reality is a relentless, isolating grind. We're talking about a nascent industry that completely lacks traditional human resource protections, health benefits, or even standard sick leave. It is a grueling, nonstop pace, and you are entirely on your own. And the stakes here are astronomically high. These creators aren't just making fun videos in their bedrooms anymore. They are the literal engines of a global $200 billion creator economy. That's a staggering figure calculated by researchers over at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. $200 billion. These individuals are driving major consumer trends. They're shaping massive cultural conversations, and most importantly for the tech giants pulling the strings, they are driving enormous amounts of direct revenue. Basically, they've inadvertently become the indispensable heavy-lifting workforce of a brand new digital era. So what changed? Well, the fundamental shift driving all of this is a massive evolution under the hood with the algorithm. Think of the old algorithm as a talent scout. Its whole job was constantly searching for the next funny clip, lip sync, or viral dance just to maximize your watch time and keep you entertained. But the new algorithm? It acts way more like a highly sophisticated personal shopper. It's deliberately shifted its core focus away from pure entertainment and leans heavily into commerce. It's optimizing for product clicks, add to carts, and direct sales. It is actively predicting what you might want to buy before you even realize you want it. There's actually a word for this deliberate blending of engaging video content with frictionless commercial intent. It's called shoppertainment. And because of this massive shift, a video's success is no longer just measured by its entertainment value, like how many shares or laughs it gets. Its worth is now heavily weighted by its proven ability to trigger a commercial transaction. Think about it. A single sale or a product click can send a signal to the algorithm that's just as potent as thousands of likes. Content today has to pull double duty. It has to entertain you while simultaneously, and usually very subtly, selling to you. And make no mistake, this transition is working incredibly well for the platform's bottom line. 11% of US households have already made a purchase directly through TikTok. By seamlessly integrating the checkout process right there into the feed, the platform removes absolutely all the friction. You don't have to navigate away, you don't open a browser, you don't even enter your credit card on a separate site. The platform is effortlessly turning casual, bored scrollers into active on-platform consumers. You see a moisturizer or a gadget reviewed, and boom, you buy it with a single tap. So how does all this commerce actually translate to a creator's livelihood? Well, if you look at a typical mid-tier creator, someone earning around $75,000 to $150,000 a year, the real money doesn't actually come from the app itself. Highly negotiated brand deals and sponsorships make up a massive 55 to 65% of their income. That absolutely dwarfs the platform's direct ad payouts, which means creators have to function as their own dedicated sales teams, their own legal counsel, and their own marketing agencies just to sustain their careers. They're not just making videos, they are running intense small businesses. But wait, what about getting paid directly for views? Well, TikTok's revamped creator rewards program does pay significantly more than the old fund did, ranging from around 40 cents to over a buck per thousand views. But the strings attached? They are incredibly strict. Videos must now be strictly original, they absolutely must be longer than 1 minute, and they demand a level of high production value that organically hits the For You feed. The era of getting rich off a totally effortless, blurry 15-second viral dance? Yeah, that is officially over. Today, to get paid, you essentially have to operate like a miniature, hyper-polished production studio. And just as the content demands get harder and harder, the algorithm itself has become way more unforgiving. In early 2026, a brutal new glass ceiling was introduced. The algorithm is now deliberately deprioritizing smaller creators, handing a severe 40% drop in reach to accounts under 100,000 followers. Meanwhile, the big established accounts over 100K, they're seeing a 10% bump in their reach. The system is heavily favoring larger, higher converting accounts that represent less risk to advertisers. And that makes it incredibly difficult for the middle class of creators to break through, grow, and actually make a sustainable living. So when you combine that dropping algorithmic reach with the constant heavy pressure to produce highly polished, longer-form content that actually sells products, creators get trapped. They end up in this relentless psychological hamster wheel. Put yourself in their shoes for a second. You're juggling an endless stream of messages from fans and brands. That forces you to feel intense pressure to post consistently just to stay relevant. That leaves you struggling and totally exhausted trying to invent fresh, high-performing ideas every single day. And when a video finally hits, it's not a relief. It just triggers a massive new influx of messages and expectations, and the whole exhausting cycle of daily digital labor starts all over again. There's literally no off switch. Which brings us to the very real, very heavy human cost of this highly engineered economy. A staggering 90%, that's 9 out of 10 creators, report experiencing severe career burnout. Just think about that for a second. In almost any other traditional industry out there, a 90% burnout rate would trigger massive structural overhauls, union interventions, or immediate government regulations. But in the fast-paced, totally unregulated creator economy, this level of sheer exhaustion is basically just considered the standard price of admission. And when you look at the anatomy of this burnout, it is truly alarming. 65% of creators say these shifting algorithms are their absolute biggest mental stressor. Over half are plagued by intense stress over financial instability. They're living with the very real fear that one tiny algorithm tweak could cut their paycheck in half overnight. Over a third are actively considering quitting the industry entirely right now. And most tragically, 10% report work-related suicidal ideation. That's a rate nearly double that of the general population. These statistics objectively validate this struggle as a severe systemic labor crisis. This isn't just a few people struggling to manage their time, it's a structural problem. As Amanda Yarnell from Harvard puts it so perfectly, the data exposes the intense, unseen pressures of the job. It highlights the financial anxiety, the absolute obsession over content performance, the constant toxicity, and above all, the profound isolation. The relentless demand to monetize oneself, to literally turn your actual life, your personality, and your daily routines into shoppertainment just to appease a shifting, commerce-driven algorithm, it's creating a deeply toxic reality behind those glowing screens. It's a really lonely battle, and it's fought entirely through a smartphone lens. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. The next time you open the app and start swiping, try to look at your feed just a little bit differently. Look beyond the laughs, the dances, and the seamless product recommendations, and start questioning the sustainable future of the people laboring inside the algorithm. These are real people working in an incredibly demanding digital factory that is explicitly designed to entertain and sell to us. So as you scroll today, ask yourself, what is the true human cost of our quote-unquote free entertainment? Thanks for joining me, and keep asking the big questions.